Hello everyone. This is a try-on video for the Degen Happy Beaded sweater, and here it is. So when I set out to make this sweater, I was super inspired by the Larka beaded sweaters that she was doing and everyone else's versions of them. And I loved all those tiny beads, but I thought that it would be really fun to only work with one type of bead and to take a more sort of 90s nostalgia approach and work with the smiley, happy face beads that I remember from making friendship bracelets as a child. So I initially bought 500 beads thinking that that was going to be far too many. And then I bought a few hundred more. And finally, this sweater ended up with about 750 beads. So keep in mind that the number of beads is pretty deceptive. I'm currently offering some beads on my shop, which are far cheaper than what I bought. I think I spent like $300 on beads and shipping, but I'm offering 1,000 beads for $32. So much more affordable, but still expensive. Beads are expensive. So, details of the actual sweater. This sweater is knit with biche et bouche petite lamb's wool, but knitting two ends at the same time together. And one end is just the yarn as it is, and the other end is the one that you string the beads on, and then you pull the beads into place as you go. I initially thought that putting the more beads on, the better, but if you put on too many beads from the outset, it becomes really hard to keep pushing them down as you go because you only need one every so often. And so I found that putting about 30 beads on the string, working them all, then breaking the yarn and restringing was sort of the best, like the most beads that you would want to string at any time. Because I just wanted to feature these beads, the actual garment is quite simple. It's sort of a boxy raglan sweater that is genderless, could be for anyone. It is knit from the bottom up, and the sleeves are also knit from the bottom up in the round until you get to the raglan. Same with the body. I found it really fun to be placing the beads as I went. I placed the beads on the first beaded row in a really specific way. Maybe it was every 12th stitch. But then after that first row, and I sort of had the established beaded placement, I sort of just got intuitive with it and placed it whenever it felt right. And I think that in general, it looks very even. So you wouldn't know that they're not placed in a specific way. This pattern features a folded 1x1 rib at the neck, which also makes it very genderless, easy to wear. The only difference between this sweater and the actual garment pattern is I made the armhole drop just slightly less. I felt like after knitting this that it's maybe too roomy in the armhole, and so the actual version is a little more narrow. Really, the joy of this sweater is just in the beads and the placing them. And also, I'm sure this whole tutorial I've just been touching them. They're really tactile and feel great on the sweater. They also give the sweater a nice weight. The yarn that I'm using, this Biche Bouche lamb's wool, two ends in dark blue green is a very light yarn. So adding the beads to it gives it a nice weight, but it does not feel heavy. I imagine if you were to use like a high twist superwash though, maybe adding beads would feel a little heavy. So keep that in mind as you're picking your yarn. Such a fun knit, pretty quick, new skill of learning how to bead while you're knitting. Very fun. I hope that you'll consider knitting it. Thanks for watching.